Our organization used to log commercially, and then in 1989 there was a severe storm which brought flooding and mudslides to the south. The government banned logging, and all of a sudden a lot of elephants were out of work, including our own. So in 1993 we moved here, set it up as a tourist facility, but we also do very serious conservation work. We have a hospital that treats outside elephants for free, and generally now we are conservation oriented. Because we're now working in tourism instead of logging, we have to put on shows. But from our very early days here, it's been a hard rule. No circus tricks, no hind leg walks, no headstands. So we're constantly trying to think of new things like the Thai Elephant Orchestra. We also did the first elephant paintings in Thailand, which are incredibly popular and also are a good money maker. The idea came up in 1999. I had to go to America for a scientific meeting in New York, and a dear friend said, "Oh, you have to meet my friend Dave Soldier, who's a musician, an avant-garde musician, among other things." And I said, "Great." We went, we had a dinner, drinks, over a bottle of scotch. We started talking, and we thought, if elephants can paint pictures, why can't they make music? And the thought popped into our head at virtually the same time, and the next year Dave came along, and we did our first CD. We had a stand. The big gong, the Alexander gong, it's got to go on one of these frames. I'm hoping it's the one that has the aluminum bells on it. I'm not sure.
You just want to change the tonality that will still fit with your knots. Get them to scoot over here. And just go between this one, which will work with this one, and this one. Change the tonality. Well, when we first started, I think everybody here thought we were nuts. Probably especially me. They already know Richard, so they probably thought this crazy American guy. Yeah, they didn't. They thought it was nuts, and they didn't really go for it. A few things changed that, in my opinion. One was that some of the elephants took to it very easily and seemed to enjoy doing it. And one by one, more and more of the mahouts have been interested in it. So we started with 6 elephants that were the most intelligent elephants and also maybe some of the most open-minded mahouts. And now, by the most recent count, we're up to 14. Some of the elephants certainly enjoy playing it, and this was, I think, the biggest question I had going into it. You know, are they just going to do it as a task? Well, the first question is, would they play music at all? Of course, we didn't know that. And when it became apparent that they would avidly play music, I think the next one was, well, will they ever do it voluntarily?
ช้างเล่นดนตรีผมว่าหลายเชือกชอบครับหลายเชือกชอบเพราะว่าเขาเคยเล่นมาแล้วแต่นี้บางเชือกเนี่ยเราอาจจะต้องซ้อมเขาก่อนฝึกให้หัดให้เขาเล่นให้สนุกก่อนเพราะดนตรีบางชิ้นเราทำขึ้นมาใหม่แล้วก็เอามาใช้เลยบางทีช้างอาจจะยังไม่ได้ฝึกเขาก็อาจจะยังไม่เข้าใจแต่ผมว่าหลายเชือกที่เข้าใจอย่างเช่นพระธิดาที่ตีกลองหรือแม่ขอดที่ตีผางให้เนี่ยเขาชอบครับเพราะว่าเขาเคยเล่นมาแล้วเขาผมเห็นเขาตีเขามีแอคชั่นที่สนุกสนานมากนะครับแสดงว่าเขาต้องชอบนะ
Just start with the gong, okay? Then the second renat in, that one is the bad one. So if you're going to bring that one in, bring it in last, okay?
Then, you know, we might switch the 2 elephants because we got a better player on the bad renat.
Okay, yeah. You look at me. Take a while to bring these in, okay? The only time we should bring the aluminum ones in, I believe, because they don't sound that good, is when everything else is kind of like getting a lot of sound. And let's try never to have more than 3 or 4 instruments play at one time.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All set.
We're
going to
getting...
start hanging up some bells that are going to work best with
Okay.
this.
Yes.
Yeah. We're set.
Okay. Okay, we're ready to record. พร้อมที่จะบันทึกเสียงขอเงียบครับ Okay. Here we go. This is take 3 in the afternoon of Monday the 10th. Okay, I'm going to one hit on this. Yeah, how do you make an instrument for an elephant? Well, obviously it's got to be very big. It's also got to be very strong. It's got to be able to stand up to the weather and the strength of the elephants. So that's for starters. But because we're in Thailand, we're in Asia, we wanted an Asian sound and a particular Thai sort of scale.
There are 2 kinds of scales here. And the renats, some renats, this scale will work with this one, okay? But it will not work with the wooden ones. If he plays the wooden ones for you, play.
Okay, อาจารย์วิโรจน์เล่นสักหน่อย
See how that's in a totally different scale. So now all the instruments on this side will play in tune with this one. And all the instruments on this side will play in tune with that one. And then the gong is in the middle, and the gong can go back and forth between the 2 sides.
Okay, that's good. And Dave?
Yeah.
Our gong player is Pratida, is also the drummer.
Well, that's a problem. I don't know what to do about that.
Well, she can walk back and forth. That's
Okay.
We've got to plan it that
Maybe
way.
this gong should be turned around then so she can do that more easily.
You know, and also turns out if Maycott doesn't show up, she's also the thunder sheet player.
Well, I hope somebody else
Well, we
can
can
play
just
thunder
move
sheet.
her around then.
She can play on both sides. I'll leave that to you. But now the war and the romance are both set up because we have to. And the final thing is I have our harmonica that will work on this side and harmonica that works on this side. This is going to portray a battle in Thai history. The gong, every time an elephant hits the gong, then one side gets to battle the other side. They're going to send out their volleys and their arrows, and they get to alternate back and forth and destroy the other side.
5 or 6 times in the course of Thai history, entire wars have been settled on the battlefield with 2 opposing armies, but also with war elephants, with like a Burmese prince fighting a Thai king, or a Thai king fighting a Burmese prince, but actual elephant warfare.
Do you want to bring them out as they get shot? Do you want to explain that to them, or how do you want to do that?
You know, which side is going to be Thailand and which side is going to be Burma? None of our guys, I guess for today's purposes, they might be willing to be Burmese.
ช้างอยู่ในวัฒนธรรมในวิถีชีวิตเขามาตั้งแต่โบราณแล้วมั้งครับตั้งแต่ไม่ทุกอย่างในสมัยก่อนจะเกี่ยวข้องกับช้างหมดงานบวชงานแต่งงานงานแห่ในหมู่บ้านงานแห่ในอำเภอในจังหวัดในอะไรต่างๆที่ใหญ่ๆที่ถือว่าจะยิ่งใหญ่เนี่ยต้องมีช้างร่วมด้วยนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นช้างเนี่ยอยู่ในวัฒนธรรมอยู่ในประเพณีอยู่ในความรู้สึกของคนไทยอยู่แล้วตั้งแต่อดีตซึมซับมาเด็กๆโตมาก็เห็นช้างแล้วแต่สมัยก่อนนะครับ
But if they're angled a bit like this, you know what? Then,
Oh, you want them angled a little more? Like that?
Yeah, let's bring this one out.
Let's see if they even sound different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, make the other one like this.
All right.
And then one elephant can sit here and it won't even have to take steps to switch. Well, working with Dave has been great. I think one reason is that each of us is kind of half scientist, half artist. I'm now a sort of biologist, elephant conservationist, but I used to be a painter. Dave is a very well-known neurochemist, but also by night and weekends he's a musician. So we're both kind of half artist, half scientist. And we both respect each other's ideas, so it's it's an incredibly fertile interaction.
Well, whereas Richard has been living with elephants in Thailand for getting close to 30 years, I'd never seen an elephant outside of a zoo or a circus. You know, I grew up in the Midwest.
Okay, เดี๋ยวจะเริ่มใหม่ครับ Okay, start. I mean, let's get more of that wooden one. Really slow here.
Okay.
Slow there, and then.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, we'll start again.
เดี๋ยวเริ่มใหม่ครับ มันเร็วเกินไปฮะแบบเริ่มช้าแล้วก็เดี๋ยวเร็ว Okay. This is war. Take 2. ครับทุกคนเงียบนะฮะ Nice and slow in here, slow here, and then. No, I mean, the Elephant Orchestra isn't funny. It has its humorous elements, but there's nothing wrong with that. We're very serious about making beautiful music. Call it experimental music if you like. The elephants like it, most of them. Some of them get very, very involved. So, no, we are making serious music.
ช้างนี่เป็นสัตว์ฉลาดนะครับแล้วก็รักสนุกดีกว่าไม่ใช่ชอบรักสนุกช้างส่วนใหญ่ทุกตัวจะรักสนุกเวลาช้างอยู่ด้วยกันเนี่ยเราจะเห็นว่าเขาจะวิ่งเล่นกันวิ่งอะไรกันได้นะครับอย่างเช่นยกตัวอย่างที่ศูนย์เราเนี่ยมีช้างแม่ลูกอยู่2คู่ นะครับถ้าสมมุติคู่หนึ่งมาถึงก่อนแล้วอีกคู่หนึ่งเพิ่งมาถึงเนี่ยเขาจะทักทายกันแล้วลูกเขาจะวิ่งไปวิ่งมาส่งเสียงร้องหากันนะครับซึ่งทางท่านอาจารย์ริชาร์ดก็ได้อัดเสียงตรงนี้ไว้อยู่นะครับเราคิดว่าจะมิกลงในชุดนี้ด้วยใช่ไหมครับอาจารย์เป็นภาพที่น่ารักมากช้างเขารักสนุกอยู่แล้วครับเขามีจิตใจของศิลปินมีอะไรนะครับเพราะอย่างเราสอนให้ช้างเล่นดนตรีเนี่ยแป๊บเดียวช้างเล่นเป็นบางทีสอนคนยังยากกว่า สอนช้างนะครับสอนช้างวาดรูปเนี่ยแป๊บเดียวก็วาดได้นะครับครับจำที่เลยครับสีไว้
แก้ววันนี้แก้วอ๋อมันอะไรอันนี้แก้ว
Another question that arises frequently is some variation on who's making this music. I mean, you're telling the elephants to play, you're building the instruments. Well, this is a good question, but I think it also should arise with people. If you're playing, say, in the school orchestra when you're a kid, like I did, I mean, are you doing it because you want to do it? Did you build the instruments? Did you write the music? Of course not. So what's the difference here? Well, I'd say one difference is that in the orchestra or the jazz band, I pretty much had to play what they tell me to play. The elephants aren't. I mean, we tell them to start and to stop. And sometimes when we tell them to stop, they don't even listen and they keep playing. It's very hard to tell a 10,000-pound animal to stop if they don't want to stop. But the elephants are within the start and stop. Everything else is generally open up to the elephants. You know, we just say start playing and they can play whatever they want. They're not going to be euphonious with the other ones, but if we take them out, and when I move her to the other ones, then this would, but these guys are good. Prati like, look, see? She just picked it up herself. We didn't tell her to pick it up. He just told her to hit it, but that's after she was already starting to do it anyway. Nobody's making her hit it now. That's a good girl.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
It looks to me like it's not mic'd.
Which?
Like a big gong.
Well, it's hitting the back of that thing.
It looks like it's not mic'd. เอาไม้นี้ติดกับคล้องใหญ่ได้ไหม
We're trying to get the elephants really to not play like human musicians and try to find out what they enjoy, what sounds good to them, to the extent that we can figure out what sounds good to them, you know, what they enjoy doing. I think initially, when we were first building instruments, I kind of did want them to sound like human instruments, and particularly Thai instruments. You know, I was traveling, hearing music in the temples, and I said, well, let's get it to sound like that temple music. Thai people tell me sometimes it does sound like temple music, but as we go further and further, I think what we're trying to do is actually make it sound like the way the elephants play. We don't really want it to sound like the way that people play. They have their own thing to do.
Well, I myself love the music. Some people don't, but what's really interesting is that the people that really love it are, for example, children and basically people with open minds. People that are super orderly don't really enjoy it because they need a drum track or a bass player, or they need a structure on which to tag it, whereas people that are willing to just kind of shut off their brain and open up their ears universally love it. When we did the first one, I really thought, okay, we'll get a couple of gag newspaper stories like man bites dog stories. The media came. They came in droves. But what was really surprising, that everybody paid great respect to the project and considering that we were making real music. There were a lot of funny taglines and bits of humor. It was almost compulsory. But basically, everybody took us very seriously. I've been working with elephants since 1977. I came to Thailand in 1980. At the time, nobody had any interest in conserving elephants or providing welfare whatsoever. Then sort of in the mid-'80s, they became interested in wild elephants. The early 90s, domesticated elephants. And I would say now that the whole Thai populace is extremely interested in the welfare of the elephants, and I hope very much that our center had a large part in that awareness.
ภาคภูมิใจที่สุดเลยค่ะว่าช้างเอเชียเนี่ยได้ทำชื่อเสียงให้กับประเทศไทยให้ที่ศูนย์อนุรักษ์ช้างไทยนี้นะคะแล้วเขาก็คิดว่าช้างทุกเชือกก็ดีใจนะคะที่เห็นชาวต่างชาติได้มาชมเขามีความภูมิใจแล้วก็ดีใจแล้วก็เต็มใจที่จะแสดงให้ชมค่ะ
I played this music once to 4 or 5 musicians and told them who it was, and in walks a music critic from the New York Times. And I played it for him, and I said, "Who do you think this is?" And he spent a couple of minutes guessing which particular group it was, and he kept saying warmer, closer, and finally he says, "You know what? I'm hearing something. I think it's an Asian group." And I said, "Yeah, it is. There you go. You're getting warm now. It's an Asian group." Anyway, he finally gave up, and I told him it was elephants, and he got really mad at me. He got really mad because I'd played a trick on him, but you know, the next day he called me up and said, "Well, you know, I really like that music. I'd like to write an article about it." People are always asking us if this is music, and there's no really perfect way to answer that unless you have a definition for music. So what we advise people to try is just play the music for people and don't tell them who's playing and say, "Is this music?" And so far I've tried it, many other people tried it, and no one has ever said it's not music. They might like it, they might hate it, but they all say it's music.
You may like the music, you may not like the music, but one thing is for sure. We did the calculations, and it's definitely the biggest orchestra in the world. It's 3 times the weight of the Berlin Philharmonic. What a crazy idea, an elephant orchestra.
It's crazy.